Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you for watching. In today's video I put together my favorite fall DIYs I did last year. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you do, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell button so you can get notified every time I upload. With that being said, now let's craft. I am going to start with my favorite DIY. Now from Dollar Tree, I will be using 2 of these decor signs. I will be removing the stickers from the back and the sawtooth hooks. I will be making a large sign, so I'm going to glue these together, and I only use hot glue, so that's why I'm going to just drill 2 screws on the other side so it can be more sturdy. The next Dollar Tree item I will be using are these wood planks. Now I'm using 5 of them, 6 come in a pack, and I'm going to glue them right on top. And once again, I'm only using hot glue for this. Once I am done gluing them, I will be using my Waverly chalk paint, or actually not the chalk paint, the Waverly antique wax to paint this. I'm going to finish painting this, then I'm going to set it on the side and let it dry. Meanwhile, I'm going to work on this beautiful gather sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to remove the tag, then I'm going to paint this using a vanilla color from the brand Craftsman. And I am making this more of a whitewash, so I'm going to just dot some of the paint here and there and then use a stipple paintbrush. And look how beautiful and farmhouse this looks. Now the next thing I will be doing is just gluing it on the sign, and I'm using some hot glue. To decorate my sign, I will be using this fall pick that I got from Hobby Lobby. I believe it's $3.99, but I got it on sale. So I am going to start by just cutting some berries and some leaves off because I am going to glue them to my sign. Now you can use whatever pick you like for this. I just really love this one. Dollar Tree does carry berry picks, but their berry picks are a little bit thicker and they're foam. This is like, I think, plastic. I'm not sure, but it is a different material. Now once I am done gluing some berries and leaves to the bottom, I am going to glue some on the top. And that is it for this gather sign. I think it turned out so beautiful. I just love the natural look to this. For my next DIY, I will be using an 8x10 canvas and this beautiful large wood leaf that I got from Dollar Tree as well. I'm going to start with the leaf, so I'm going to remove the tag, then I'm going to paint this using the vanilla color. Once I am done painting this, I'm going to use the same paintbrush, and whatever paint is left on it, I'm going to add a little bit of the antique wax and then just start painting all the edges. I do want this sleeve to look more rustic and old. Okay, so I don't have the footage, but for the canvas, all I did was remove the staples and the canvas part, and then I painted the wood frame using the antique wax. Once everything was dry, I then glued the leaf on the frame. Alright, so I was going back and forth in between this grateful and a thankful sign that I had from Dollar Tree, and I decided to go with this grateful sign that I got from Hobby Lobby. I did start by painting this with a Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, but then I didn't like it, so I went back with the antique wax, and then I didn't like that, so I went back with the moss, and finally I just left it with this moss color. Now I'm going to just glue it to the sign. Then to finish this off, I'm going to make a jute twine bow and add it to the leaf. And that is it for this beautiful rustic grateful sign. So for my next DIY, I'm going to use a piece of wood that I painted using the Waverly antique wax, and I'm going to use some Dollar Tree leaves and some random pumpkins that I had. I will let you know where I got each pumpkin once I start gluing this. So I thought I was going to use these eucalyptus greenery from Dollar Tree, but I ended up not using those. So I did start by gluing some leaves to the sign. I then glued this white pumpkin that I got from a pack that I got from Hobby Lobby. And then these little green pumpkins, I got them from some fall picks that I got last year from Walmart. I'm going to glue 2 of them, 1 on each side. Then I'm going to use these little small pumpkins that I got from the Dollar Tree from a little pack. Then I'm going to use 2 more orange leaves, and I'm going to glue them in between the white and the green pumpkins, but in the back. I then cut 2 more leaves, and then I glue them on the side of the pumpkins. Okay, so I know I had said I wasn't going to use the Dollar Tree eucalyptus picks, but I do end up using them. I just placed them on each side, and then I used the leftover berries to also place them on each side and in the center. Now to finish this off, I will be doing a jute twine bow and then just adding it to one of the pumpkins, which is the bigger one. And that is it, guys. That is it for this beautiful pumpkin centerpiece, which I absolutely love, and it is my second favorite DIY. Alright, so for my next DIY, it's going to be a little bit difficult to explain, so I'm going to try my best. So the materials I will be using are mostly from Dollar Tree. It is one of these wood round circles, and this other little wood thing, I got it from Michael's a while back. It was on clearance and I got it for like 50 cents. I'm not even sure what it was, but it was on the wood section. I did glue this on top of the round circle. I then used the Waverly Antique Wax to paint this, and it looks a little bit lighter because the paintbrush still had a little bit of the vanilla color. I then used this place or chopping mat that I got from the Dollar Tree, and two come in a pack, but I'm only using one of them, and I'm going to cut this in half. Then I'm going to glue it all around this wood thing, and I use hot glue, and I try to use a little bit of hot glue so you can't see the glue residue, since this is like a see-through mat. Once I was done wrapping it around, I then finished gluing the rest, and I tried to use a little bit of hot glue once again so you can't really see it, but of course you can still see it. Now to try to cover that up, I didn't try. I'm actually going to be using these bamboo sticks that I got from Amazon. I am going to paint them using the antique wax. Once I am done doing that, I am going to cut them to size. Then I'm going to glue them to my cylinder. Now I did start by gluing it to where you can see where these two meet, and then I went all around it. To try to cover the glue residue, I am going to use this faux leather ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. I did start by gluing some at the very bottom where you can see most of the glue. The next thing I will be doing is adding some at the top. I did add some of this ribbon twice, actually 3 times. First I went around it, then I went inside, and then I went like over it. You'll see at the end how it looked. I am not going to lie, I almost gave up on this lantern because I didn't like how the top looked. You see how messy it looks at the top. I even tried to add some juice string to like cover that up, but none of that was working out. So then I was like, maybe if I add some stuff in front of the lantern, it is going to take the focus out of the top part. So that is what I did. I used a Dollar Tree burlap leaf, and then I added some more leaves and berries, and then I added a jute twine bow, and I think it made this lantern look so much better. For this, you can use some Dollar Tree LED lights. I already had these, which the little box was pretty big, so the leaves made it cover it. And that is it, guys. That is it for this lantern. Alright, so these are the materials I will be using. From Dollar Tree, I will be using this pumpkin tray, this fall pick, and this square decor sign. I'm going to start by removing the tag from the decor sign and the staples. The staples did leave a little bit of holes in the back, so I'm going to use a Senshi to smooth it out. Once I am done doing that, I'm going to use some white chalk paint and paint the back. And I'm not going to paint this perfect. I do want this to look like a whitewash, which that's what I wanted, but I ended up adding a lot of paint. So yeah, now the next thing I will be doing is letting this dry, and then I'm going to paint the tray. To paint the tray, I will be using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. Alright, so I do want to highlight the details of the pumpkin. So what I'm going to do is mix a little bit of the antique wax and some moss, and then I'm going to go over them. You can't really see them now, but you will once it's dry. Now once it's dry, I'm going to glue it to the sign, and I use a lot of hot glue. To decorate the pumpkin, I will be using this fall pick that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now I am going to cut 4 stems off. Then I decided to add some eucalyptus greenery to it, so like that it can look more full. So I did remove the flower. I then added the eucalyptus, and then I added the flower back, and I did that to all 4 of the picks. I then put them together to going one way to going the other way. Then I use a piece of jute string to tie them in the center. By adding the jute twine, it's going to be easier for it to stick more to the pumpkin. Now I am using hot glue. The next thing I will be adding is a bless sign that I got from Hobby Lobby. And since it doesn't really fit, I did have to use a Jenga block. And this is also going to make it 3D. Once I am done doing that, I decided to add a pumpkin. This is one of the little pumpkins that Dollar Tree carries. They have the little clip. To finish this off, I'm going to add this jute twine bow, and that is it for this blessed sign. I think this turned out beautiful. This is one of my favorite. Alright, so for my next DIY, I will be using 2 different sizes of pumpkins. These I got them from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use a wood sign. I thought I was going to use that, but then I flipped it around and I noticed that it's one of where my son painted something, so I decided to keep it instead and use this circle one. I'm going to start by painting the wood circle using the Waverly antique wax. Then I'm going to paint the pumpkins. I'm going to start by removing the stem, and then I'm going to take this other velvet one apart. I removed the stem and the fabric. So once I had both of them, I started with the bigger pumpkin, which is the orange one, and I'm going to paint it using the Waverly chalk paint in the color white. So I went over with the chalk paint first because I wanted to use this vanilla color, and this is an acrylic, so if I was to use the acrylic only, it would take me like 5 layers to cover the orange. So that's why I went over it with the white first, and then I went with the vanilla color, which it made the pumpkin look a little bit more like a cream color. Before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find, I'm standing right here. So my pumpkin doesn't look so flat. I am going to go over the details, and I mix a little bit of the vanilla with the antique wax, and then I went over them, and I think I added it way too much because I didn't like how it looks. So then I decided to go over it again with a little bit of the vanilla color and a different paintbrush. And I think this fixed it, and I think it looks so much better. I actually love, love, love how it turned out.
I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but
the other pumpkin, I will be painting it using the Waverly chalk paint in the color Moss. And I'm going to repeat the same thing. Once I am done painting this, I'm going to mix a little bit of the moss with some white paint and then go over the details.
now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it?
Now that everything's dry, I'm going to put my topiary together. I'm going to start by gluing the bigger pumpkin first, and then I'm going to glue some of these leaves. Well, I didn't glue them. I actually put them through this little line that this pumpkin had, and then I'm going to glue the other pumpkin right on top of it. Once I am done doing that, I'm going to add the stem back to the pumpkin. And to finish this off, I'm going to add a jute twine bow. And that is it for this topiary pumpkin, which is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love how this turned out. Alright, so for my next DIY, I will be using something I already made last year. And I made this using some jumbo popsicle sticks and some paint stir sticks. As you can see, I just glued them all together, made a square first, and then glued the popsicle sticks in the back. I then painted this using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now, this is not from Dollar Tree, but I got this for $5, so technically $2.50 each. Dollar Tree does carry things that you can use instead, like the little pencil holders, but I've been wanting to use this, so I decided to use it today. I am going to cut the little thing at the bottom, and I use this wire cutter to cut it. Since my wire cutters left it spiky, I am going to use a senshi to smooth it out. Once I was finished, I then turned it around. I am going to use some Jenga blocks so it can be nice and even. Then I'm going to glue this to the frame. Dollar Tree carries so many wood cutouts that you can use, but I remember I had this one right here. It comes from a little kit that Liz from Liz Moore and DeKalb sent to me, and I remember I didn't use the last kit and it had this, so I decided to use it today. I am going to paint the leaf using the color Moss. Then I'm going to go over the letters using a paint marker. Once I am done, I'm going to just glue this to the little container. I did add only a little bit of hot glue, so like that, if I want to use this all year round, I can remove the leaf carefully. Now, once I am finished, I'm going to just finish this off by adding some fall florals. I am going to start with these Dollar Tree eucalyptus. I did cut several stems off. And then from, I think, Hobby Lobby. I'm not sure if I got these from Hobby Lobby or Michael's. I'm going to use these and cut just 2 stems out of these. These were $3.99, but they were on sale. Then I'm going to add some pumpkin picks. Now, these are from last year. I got these from Dollar Tree. I did paint them using the color vanilla. And I'm going to just add them inside my little bucket. Now, the last thing I did was just add a little bow to the leaf. And that is it, guys. That is it for this DIY. I think it turned out beautiful. These are the materials I will be using for my next DIY. The little wood cutout, I got it from Target last year for $1. The beads, I'll have the link down in the description box in case you want to check them out. I got it from Amazon. And the leaves, these leaves are the ones I'm talking about, the Dollar Tree carries. I am going to start by painting 4 of them using the color vanilla. This pack does come with 8. I want the leaves to look more rustic, so I'm going to add a little bit of the antique wax to the vanilla. I'm going to mix them together. Then I'm going to start painting all the edges. Look how beautiful these look. Now I'm going to set them aside and let them dry. Meanwhile, I'm going to make a tassel with some Dollar Tree jute twine. I'm going to wrap it around a wood plank several times, then I'm going to cut it in half. So this next step is going to be a little bit hard for me to explain, but I will try my best to do it. I did use a piece of jute twine to tie this in the center, but I made sure that that piece of jute string was very long because this is where I'm going to add the banner. So once I was done tying it in the center, I then use another piece of jute string to tie it and finish making the tassel. Now I'm going to cut the string, and I'm going to cut it to where the string is very long, and I'm going to make another tassel, but this time I'm going to set the tassel to the side because I'm going to add the beads and the leaves first. So I started with the bead, then a leaf. Once I put the string on the hole, then I went back with the same string and like put it back, but I didn't put it all the way back completely because I made a knot in the front, so like that when I hang my banner, all of my leaves are going to be facing forward. And I'm going to do this same step to all of the leaves. And look how beautiful these look. Now I'm going to add this little wood cutout that I got from Target last year. If they were $1, and I decided not to use the little pumpkin that comes with the little wood cutouts. I decided to use another pumpkin that I already had, so I'm going to add the H, the pumpkin, the M, and the E, and it's going to say home. And that is it for this banner. I think it turned out so cute. Now keep in mind this is a little bit small, but you can make it bigger using the big Dollar Tree leaves, or you can always use this little banner on a sign. Starting with these two Dollar Tree little pumpkin signs, I'm going to remove the bow and the tag. I actually had so much trouble trying to remove the tags. Even after using my blow dryer, I still wasn't able to remove the one on the cream pumpkin, so I just left it like that. So I'm going to use a piece of scent sheet to try to remove some of the extra glue. Then I'm going to paint the pumpkin using the Waverly chalk paint in the color moss, and then on the other pumpkin I will be painting it using the Craft Smart in the color vanilla. Once they were dry, I used a piece of scent sheet to distress around the pumpkins. And to cover the sticker, I'm going to use this paper that I got from Michael's. They are 25 cents each. So you should definitely go check out Michael's. They have so many different beautiful scrapbooking papers that you can use to craft. I cut a rectangular, almost the size of the pumpkin, but just a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to cut the corners off to make the same shape as the pumpkin. To glue the paper, I will be using this spray adhesive. I'm not gonna lie, I seen Crafts by Kaylin use this, and when I seen it at Dollar Tree, I picked it up so I can try it out, and I kind of like it. I have to use it a little bit more to make sure if I do or I don't like it. Like she said, it does dry pretty fast. And the green pumpkin, I just left it like that. Now I'm going to glue these side by side, but the green pumpkin is going to be more on the edge. And I did glue some Jenga blocks on the back, so like that it can be nice and sturdy. Now to decorate this, I will be using this little truck that came in this DIY kit that I got from Target from the dollar spot. It was $3. I will be saving the rest of the kit to do it on my next DIY. So like I said, I'm going to use a little truck. This truck comes with adhesive, so I just peeled it off and I glued it on the front, but only like half of it glued. So there is a space in the back. You can't use a Jenga block to secure it, but instead I decided to add some of these floral picks that I got from the Dollar Tree with the eucalyptus. And to finish this off, I will be adding some jute twine bows to the pumpkins. And that is it, guys. That is it for this DIY. I think these pumpkins turn out so cute. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this autumn blessing decor sign that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to start by peeling the paper off. Using the same scrapbooking paper that I used in my previous DIY, I'm going to just place it on top of the decor sign and then start pressing it down so like that it can crease. I'm going to cut it. Then I'm going to glue it, but this time I didn't use the adhesive spray. I am going to use my Elmer's glue stick. The next item I will be using is a pumpkin. This pumpkin comes from a garland that I got from Walmart. So I'm going to just paint it using the vanilla color. Once it's dry, I'm going to glue the pumpkin in the center, and I will be using some leaves that I got from a fall pick, and I'm going to cut them and glue them to my pumpkin to cover the holes. And for the stem, I use a paint marker to paint it. And to finish it off, I'm going to add a jute twine bow that I made, and I'm going to add this little gather sign that I got from Hobby Lobby. And that is it, guys. I think this turned out so beautiful and it was so easy and simple to do. For my next DIY, I will be using the rest of the kit that I got from Target. Since I don't have the truck anymore, I will be using a pumpkin. This comes from the garland I got from Walmart. I also decided to use only one of the leaves wood cutouts instead of using both of them. So I'm going to start by painting the pumpkin and the gather sign using the vanilla color. I did paint the leaf with the vanilla color, but then I ended up painting it using the Waverly chalk paint in the color moss. As you can see, I didn't paint the center of the pumpkin. That is because I will be using this beautiful scrapbooking paper that I have been using, and I'm going to just place it on top and start pressing it down so it can crease, and I'm going to cut it and glue it. So for the frame, I decided to only paint like the frame part using the Waverly Antique Wax, and I only dry painted this. I didn't want this to be too dark. Now that I have everything ready to go, I'm going to glue it to my sign. I started off with the pumpkin, then underneath that I put the gather sign, and then underneath that I put the leaf. To finish it off, I did put a jute twine bow on the pumpkin. And that is it, guys. That is it for this beautiful gather sign. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this pumpkin that I got from the Dollar Tree. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is already pretty, but I do not like the glitter, so I'm going to just flip it around and use the back. I'm going to start by removing the bow and the tag. Since I really liked the front of the pumpkin, I just didn't like the colors, I decided to try to almost make it the same. So I'm going to use the scrapbooking paper, and I'm going to place it on top of the pumpkin. For this to be easier, I did first crease it, so then like that I can flip it around and then just make it a little bit smaller going around the crease. I hope that made sense. Now I'm going to just glue it using my Elmer's glue stick. I wish I had found the little wood cutouts the Dollar Tree is carrying, because the gift things would have looked so much better than this grateful and thankful little wood cutouts that I have. These are from Target. I actually got these last year. I did paint this using the vanilla color, but I do end up painting it to a brown later on. So once I was done painting these, I just placed them on the pumpkin, and I used the adhesive that comes with the little wood cutouts. I then used the leftover leaf from the kit and placed it on the side of thankful. To decorate it a little more, I'm going to add some leaves. I almost forgot to paint the stem, so I will be painting it using the antique wax. To finish this off, I'm going to add a jute twine bow, and I decided to add more leaves and a flower on the pumpkin. And that is it, guys. That is it for this transformation. I think it turned out so much better than the other one. Next, I'm going to use a Dollar Tree crate and this harvest pumpkins that I got from Walmart. This little pack was $2.98. I'm going to start by painting the crate using a mixture of white and antique wax. The next thing I did was put the word of pumpkins, and I used these stickers. These are some old stickers. I got them from Ross a while back. The pumpkins were a little bit too short, so I decided to use a Dollar Tree palette and place it on the inside. I then used a little piece of wood sign that I already had, and I stained it using the antique wax. And then I wrote $5 and used a bamboo stick to glue it to my sign. Now Dollar Tree carries a whole bunch of different tags that you can use instead. And that is it for this crate. I just love how it turned out. Alright, now from Hobby Lobby, I got one of these signs, which was $17.99, but I got it for $4.49 because it was on clearance. I'm going to start by removing the sawtooth hooks from the back. The next thing I will be doing is sanding the sign down, just because the colors are pretty bright and I don't want to paint this so many different times to cover this. So by me doing this, I only had to paint it 2 times, and I will be using my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. The next item I will be using is this family sign that I got from Dollar Tree recently. I'm going to use the Waverly antique wax to paint this. I'm going to use whatever's left on the paintbrush to distress the frame. Now to decorate this, I will be using these beautiful pumpkin floral picks that I recently got from Walmart. These were 97 cents each. I will be tying mine like really close together. You can't leave a space in between them, and like that you can add a bow. Now it's time to put the sign together. I'm going to start by gluing the family sign, and then I'm going to glue the pumpkins right underneath. I decided to glue mine, but you can make a hole on the sign and just tie them. So like that you can use this sign all year round just by switching the floral bits. I then decided to add a small little pumpkin I had. And that is it for this beautiful fall sign. For my next DIY, I'm going to use this palette sign. I got this from Dollar General, but Walmart or Michael's carry these and they are under $3. What I love about this palette that it's already stained. Now I'm going to use this thankful metal sign that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm not sure if Dollar Tree is going to carry them this year. This is from last year, but if they don't, you can always use the Dollar Tree stickers, or you can even use your Cricut. Instead of painting this metal sign and gluing it to the palette, I decided to trace it and then go over it using some white chalk paint. To decorate my sign, I'm going to use some pumpkins that I got from Dollar Tree. These are the ones that have the little clip. I removed the clip and then I cut these in half. I'm using a white one and an orange. I am also using these leaves. I got this little pack from Dollar Tree, which I absolutely love because it has different kinds of leaves. It has the regular ones, and then it has some burlap leaves. So I will be using some orange and then some green. I'm going to just glue them all on top of the thankful sign. 2 of them going one way, the other 2 going the other way, and in the center, we're going to glue one of them like standing up. Once I am done doing that, I am gluing the pumpkins right on top. And I'm only gluing 3 pumpkins, 2 white ones and an orange. And that is it for this beautiful thankful sign, which was so easy to make. For my next DIY, I will be using 4 of these picture frames. These are from Dollar Tree. I thought I was going to need a piece of this sign, but I ended up not needing that, so you only need 4 frames for these. I'm going to start by removing the back piece from all the picture frames, and I'm going to remove the little metal thing that holds the back pieces. Once I had removed all the backs, I then started to glue these together. I am making a lantern. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing lanterns, but I wanted to make one. So I am going to start by just gluing all of these together. I am using hot glue. So instead of using the other piece of the other sign that I thought I was going to need, I decided to use one of the back pieces. I know this isn't going to cover the whole bottom piece, but it is going to be enough so I can put a pumpkin or a candle if I want to. So that is what I'm going to use for the bottom. Now once I had the bottom, I then painted this using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now to decorate your candle holder, you can add a candle, but I decided to add a pumpkin instead. And I'm using one of these pumpkins. I got this on a pack that I got from Hobby Lobby. And I'm going to use some of the leaves that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm going to just glue some leaves underneath. Now this pumpkin is not that big, which I wish I had a bigger one, but I still like how it looks, so I'm using this one. I am going to just glue the leaves all underneath. So when I add this to my lantern, there is going to be some greenery or leaves around it. Now I'm going to add a bow to finish it off. You can glue the pumpkin inside the lantern, but I decided not to. So like that, I can use this all year round just by switching the inside. And that is it for this lantern. I think it turned out so cute and it was so easy to make. For this DIY, I will be using 2 of these pieces of craft wood. I got them from the Dollar Tree and this calendar. I was so excited when I found these. They do have 2 different sizes. They have these and then they have like a little bit bigger ones. I believe these are 12 inches and the other one are 18 inches. One of the sides is smoother and the other one's a little bit more rough. So when I removed the sticker, it was on the side that was smoother. So I did have to sand it down because I wanted to use that side. Now I'm going to stain these and I'm using the Waverly Antique Wax. This is already like a stain, but it's a little bit dark. It depends how you use it. It can be light or dark, but I wanted this to be lighter. So I did add a little bit of water. I'm setting these aside and letting them dry. Now I'm going to work on the calendar. This calendar is so beautiful. I was so happy when I found it. I am going to use the month of October or whatever is behind it. And it is so pretty. It says thankful and blessed. Also, this calendar comes with this cardboard, so I will be using that. I'm going to use the Elmer's glue stick to just put a whole bunch of glue on the cardboard, and then I'm going to glue the page right on top of it. Before I glue the pieces of wood, I will be making 2 holes to one of them. This is so I can add some string and make a hanger. Using hot glue, I will be gluing the pieces of wood, but the top one I'm going to make sure is the one where I drill the holes, and then the bottom will be the other one. I felt like this needed something else, so I made a jute twine bow and I only added it to the middle pumpkin, but you can do 3 little bows and add them to each pumpkin, but I think this made it look so much better. Now the last thing I did was just add some jute string for the hanger. And that is it for this thankful and blessed sign, which I think it turned out beautiful. You can always use this for your Thanksgiving decor. For my next DIY, I will be using 2 wood leaves, 2 wood rectangles, and 1 piece of wood. Everything is from the Dollar Tree. I am going to start by measuring the square piece, and I am going to make a line so I can cut it in half. Once I am done cutting these, I am going to paint them using some white chalk paint. Then I'm going to paint the other two pieces of wood using the Waverly Antique Wax. Now for the leaves, I will be adding some spackle to the little holes that these leaves have. I actually didn't let these dry. I went straight to paint them, and I will be using some white chalk paint. After they are semi-dry, I went with the color ivory and distress all the edges. Now for the little stem part, I will be using the Waverly Antique Wax. Once everything's dry, I'm going to glue one leaf going one way and then the other leaf going towards it. So like that, when I place them, they're going to be like facing each other. Hopefully that made sense. And I'm using hot glue to glue these. The little white little wood that I painted, I'm going to add it to the bottom. So you can add whatever you want to this, but I decided to put Hello Fall. And I did use my Cricut, but Dollar Tree has so many different things that you can use instead. They have stickers, wood letters. To finish these off, I will be making some jute twine bows and add them to the leaves. When I was finished, I thought it needed a little bit of orange to it, so this is where I decided to add some. And that is it, guys. That is it for this two-piece set that says Hello Fall. My next DIY is going to be very easy and simple to do. Now from Dollar Tree, I used one of the wood crates that I stained using the Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm going to use a mixture of fall floral picks. Some are from Walmart and some are from Dollar Tree. I'm going to just cut the stems off. Then using some leftover floral foam, I will be gluing pieces in there. I basically just added them here and there until I like how they look. I also added some pumpkins to this. This orange pumpkin came with the pick. And these two little pumpkins come from the Dollar Tree, but I got these last year. Now to finish it off, I'm going to add a bow that I made using some burlap ribbon. And that is it for this fall floral arrangement. For this next DIY, I'm going to use another wood slat that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use these 3 small ovals. Now these are from Michael's. They were 59 cents each. Dollar Tree does carry ovals like this, but they are bigger. I'm going to use 3 Jenga blocks and a piece of the stir stick. I'm going to start by staining the wood slat using the Waverly Antique Wax. I am also going to stain the paint star stick. And the ovals, I'm going to only paint 2 of them white, and then the third one I will be using the Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin. I wanted to distress a little bit of the white ovals using a little bit of the orange. Now once everything was dry, I placed both of the white ovals together side by side, and then I glued the other one in the center, which this is going to make a pumpkin, as you can see. Now for the stem, I will be using the piece of paint stick, but I did have to cut it a little bit because it wouldn't fit. Using these leftover leaves that I have, I'm going to cut one of them off, and then I'm going to remove the little plastic that this has. Then I'm going to glue it to the pumpkin. To finish this off, I'm going to add a jute twine bow that I made. And finally, I'm going to put this together by adding some Jenga blocks to the back. This is going to make it more sturdy. And that is it, guys. That is it for this pumpkin. I think it turned out beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to start with this Dollar Tree decor sign. Now, if you can't find these right now, you can always use a regular picture frame. So I'm going to start by removing the back and the flowers, and then I'm going to just remove the entire paper, or at least I try to. Once I was finished that, I then used this beautiful buffalo check paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. It is from the brand The Paper Studio. I'm going to just trace it and then cut it. To glue my paper, I am using this matte Mod Podge. I ran out of my glue sticks, so I had no other choice to use this. I still like it. I'd rather use this than the glossy one. So I'm going to just spread it all over. I know I'm using my fingers. Every time I use a paintbrush, I always end up forgetting about it and I always mess it up. So I just use my fingers. Then I just slowly put the paper down and smooth it out using my hand. I then put the back piece back on the frame. I am leaving it the color as it is. I think the beautiful natural wood color gives it a better look with this buffalo check paper. The next Dollar Tree item I will be using is the calendar. Now my calendar is from last year. I got it right after fall, so I wasn't able to use the fall pictures. So I'm going to use them this year. Now Dollar Tree is carrying new calendars that you can use instead. I am going to cut around the pumpkins and only leaving the word patch at the bottom. Then I'm going to use the Mod Podge to glue the paper. To finish this off, I will be making a jute bow and add it to the middle pumpkin. Now you can't make 3 bows and add them to all 3 pumpkins, but I decided to only do it to 1. And that is it, guys. That is it for this beautiful decor sign. I think it turned out beautiful. My next DIY is more like a hack. Now from the Dollar Tree, I picked up 2 of these pumpkins. They didn't have the ones I wanted, the letters I wanted, so I decided to just cover that up using this beautiful buffalo check scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. Now, in order for me to cut it to the right size, I am going to just place the paper right on top and then start pressing it down so like that it can crease. Then I'm going to cut it. I am also not cutting it perfect because I am going to send it out in just a minute. Now to glue this, I'm using my Mod Podge. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing I did to this orange pumpkin to the white pumpkin. I did let these dry for a little bit, and then I use a scent sheet to just sand around all the edges. And I also sand a little bit of the pumpkin so they can look more rustic and old. And that is it, guys. The last thing I did was just place the bow back on the pumpkins. And that is it for these beautiful pumpkins. I think they turn out so beautiful. The next DIY is going to be very easy and simple to do. Now from Dollar Tree, I got one of these glass or candle holders, and I am going to paint it white using some white chalk paint, just because this is already white but it's glossy, shiny, and it has this like holographic color to it. So I did want this to be more of a matte white. In my opinion, it looks so much better. Now I am going to use this beautiful fall mum pick that I got from Walmart. It is 97 cents, but Dollar Tree carries so many other different ones that you can use instead. I am going to cut all the stems off, and I'm going to use this floral foam that I recently got from Hobby Lobby. It was $1.49. It was on clearance. I mean, it's a little bit old and wonky, but for $1.49, I was like, I can use this. So I am going to just cut a little piece off and then put it inside the glass, and I'm going to use some hot glue so like that this can be like a permanent floral arrangement. I then just place all the picks just here and there. I did have some that weren't like covering everything, so I decided to use some Dollar Tree leaves and then just place them on the back to cover the foam. Now, to make this go with my other DIYs, I'm going to make an easy bow using this beautiful buffalo check ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. It is very easy. And then I'm going to just glue it to one of the stems on the floral. And that is it for this beautiful fall floral arrangement. For my next DIY, I'm going to use one of these Dollar Tree decor signs. Now these have this little jute twine with some beads on it. So all I'm doing is removing that. I am going to save them because I'm going to use these later on. I am then now going to remove the back. It is very easy. All you have to do is just like push it back out and it comes out easily. The only thing is that some of the paper stays because it's glued with hot glue, so you do have to remove that. Now I'm going to just remove the paper. Now I'm going to use a leftover scrapbooking paper that I had from Hobby Lobby. As you can see, it is not big enough, so I am going to just make a small square and then I'm going to glue it in the center. Now for the edges, I am going to just use this buffalo check paper that I had, and I'm going to cut some strips off and then just glue them all around the edges. Now I'm going to have a buffalo check border. I'm going to glue the back piece back using some hot glue. The next thing I will be using is this wood pumpkin. I already had this from last year, but Dollar Tree is carrying some new ones this year. And I'm going to use the string and the beads that came with it. So I'm basically going to just hang this using the beads that came with it and the string. So like that, if I want to make something else for Christmas, I can just easily remove the string and use this decor sign. And that is it, guys. The last thing I did was just add this grateful little sign that I had. And I'm going to make a bow using this orange buffalo check ribbon that I got from the Dollar Tree. And that is it for this grateful little sign. I think it turned out so cute. And that is it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know down in the comment section which one was your favorite, because I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, bye.